Alright, welcome back to iPage vDeck control panel. It's been 20 minutes since we set up our email account, which means our email should now be working. I'm in my iPage system, and I'm going to just go down to this icon here, Mail Central. In this video, I'm going to go over how you can manage your mailbox. There's a lot of different settings here. If you're going to be using a email client like Mail or Outlook, you can get your settings in this setup section right here. And click on setup, and it just provides you with the settings that you would use to connect your Outlook or your Mail. If you're not going to use Outlook or Mail, you've got a webmail option right here. We'll talk a little bit more about webmail in another video. Open Exchange is what's being used here, and it's a pretty extensive program. The delete option is always there, but we don't want to delete our mail, so we're going to click on Edit. This Edit button gives us a lot of additional options for managing our mail here. So you can see it's going to try to sell me on the Open Exchange, the mobile and the business. Currently we're just on the standard basic. So here we have several new options. Under owner information, if you click on these little pluses, each section will open up, and this asks me if I want to be an administrator. What an administrator does is it allows me to set up an email user account to go in and administer all the email addresses on the account without giving the administrator full access to the control panel. They simply log into a mail system versus the control panel. You see here, this is the mailbox delivery. It tells me which mailbox I'm getting mail delivered to. That's the email box we set up. I can set a new password here if I want to. I can log into my webmail system if I want to. I can remove this mailbox. Where this comes in play is if I had multiple email boxes on my account, I could simply add another one here. So everything that would go to test user would also go to that additional mailbox if I had added a second one. And if I choose to remove that at any point, I can. So let's say I have Bob and Sue are on the same team in my office, and I want them both to receive the same emails. So I could simply set up Bob and Sue both to get emails delivered to them. It tells me how much email I'm using and how much mail I have. So I get 250 megabytes. And it tells me that I'm using 0 megabytes of that currently. Email forward. This is if I want to send mail to another email address. I can simply type it in here. Just like that. And I add it, and now whenever anybody sends an email to the email address test user at examplepage.info.info, I will also receive the email in my spring@helmlearning.com email. You may wonder how the forward here differs from this target delivery. The target delivery box is specifically for emails that are on this system, and forward is specifically for email addresses that are outside of this iPage system. If I wanted to remove it, I could simply click on it and select remove. It'll stop the forwarding. Alright, so autoresponder. Autoresponder, this is great. This is your I'm out of the office message. This is your standard thank you for sending your inquiry will return your response in 24 hours. I'm just going to put in here. Alright, and when I save that, what happens is anybody who now sends an email to my test user at examplepage.info will automatically receive a response back saying thank you for sending me an email. You could technically, if let's say you have an employee, Bob for example, and Bob gets terminated for whatever reason, he's no longer working for you, but you want to keep Bob's email on file, you can do that, and you can let people know that Bob is no longer working for you by simply having the email routed back to the sender. Or you can not let anybody know and have them immediately just go to the trash. That's up to you. So you could set up technically an email address, which is a fully functioning email address, and just have all email routed to the trash, kind of like a spam collector that immediately throws things away. And import export. This is if you want to import or export the forwarding addresses. So if I had an entire list of email addresses that I want things to forward to, in the situation that I want my entire sales department or something to receive all the emails that are sent to test user at examplepage.info, and they're on an outside system, an outside email address, instead of having to type each one in individually, I can simply import it. Or if I have an entire list here already and I need to take it someplace else, I can export it. And to do that, you need to use what's called a CSV, or a comma separated value file. You can create one pretty easily with any spreadsheet system like Excel. Alright, so thank you for joining me for email management, and I'll see you next time.